The American Dream reaches out to more than just Americans. The promise of a better life also draws immigrants to America.
Some of those immigrants are entering illegally and bringing their children with them. Those children are called dreamers.
Now, News 10's Jessica DeNova shows us how they have changed the immigration movement in your town and across the nation.
The American Dream is a story told throughout the globe that many leave home for, even if it means entering the U.S. illegally. Some may come with children, and those children may not have a choice.
Yeah, sure. I've met with kids who, through no fault of their own, or were brought here by their parents at a very early age.
According to the American Immigration Council, of the roughly 12 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S. today, nearly 2 million are children. These children go through the nation's school system, often standing out above the rest.
They've been sometimes terrific athletes and scholars in the school, and now they're caught. They know no other country but ours.
Finding themselves in high school, college, and holding degrees but without driver's licenses or social security numbers, without papers, some of these students decided it was time to take matters into their own hands, and the Dreamer movement was born.
If we keep silence, then nothing can be changed. But if we actually speak out, then people will actually hear us and know our stories, know why we come here. I think it's important.
Though many of these students have lived for most of their lives in the states where they wish to attend college, they still must pay out-of-state tuition. Oregon Dreamers and other supporters have organized to help pass House Bill 2787, or the Tuition Equity Bill, which would grant in-state tuition to some of these students if they have attended school for at least 5 years in the country, studied at an Oregon high school for at least 3 years, and received a diploma or its equivalent. These students must also show intention of becoming lawful U.S. residents or citizens. News 10 followed a group of Ashland students who drove to Salem for the House Higher Education and Workforce Development Committee's first public hearing on tuition equity.
What I really want is a positive outcome in order for both parties in order to come to an agreement and finally find a solution for this problem, because I feel like this is going to be beneficial to both the state and the student.
Ricardo Lujan was brought to the U.S. at 9. Now he attends community college in Southern Oregon and hopes to become a police officer, but he says higher out-of-state rates may block him from going further.
It's very expensive to go to school for criminology and psychology and all kinds of stuff, which is what I'm going for, and tuition equity allows me to go into a higher education greater than community college with a lower price and pursue a higher education in the field that I want to study.
He sat listening as all his fellow dreamers shared their stories, exposing themselves to deportation.
I think I'm past the fear now. I think there's more fears in the world to worry about than just getting deported.
4 overflow rooms were filled as business leaders, clergymen, educators, attorneys, supporters, and opponents gave testimony and listened. This SOU student and Oregon Student Association member says she has come across undocumented middle and high school students in the Valley through a tutoring program and sees they are excelling in their classes and their numbers are growing.
It's giving these students the ability to continue their education, to continue the investment that Oregon has already made in these students. Most of them have gone K through 12, and so just making sure that they're able to get that degree and be able to pay into that higher tax bracket.
One opponent of tuition equity says, as bright as these students have proven to be, they should work on fixing the issues in their own countries.
I think that they should have an exit visa stapled onto their diploma and say, now that you've learned a lot, go home and fix your country.
I don't know my own country. This is my country now. I was brought here when I was 4 years old and I know nothing about Mexico. So how can I make a better place when all my education is here and this is home? After
the tuition equity hearing, Ricardo and some of the SOU OSA members had more work left to do before they returned home.
I want to thank you for supporting this and continuing supporting this, because it's definitely going to help me out and many other people.
Visiting Oregon state legislators and asking or thanking them for their support of tuition equity. Ricardo and other undocumented students say their fight doesn't end with tuition equity, but goes far beyond the steps of the state's capital.
I do need to be a citizen to be a police officer, so I do need comprehensive immigration reform. Without being a citizen, I cannot get any government job.
People are being deported every single day. Moms, dads, young people like Carla, who are being deported every single day, and we just hope that something, some sort of relief happens or some sort of reform happens.
On his way out, Ricardo says that support for an immigrant-related issue in the state gives him hope he'll see the same backing from the nation for a pathway to legalization.
With the reactions that I saw within the committee and the audience, just shows how much times have evolved, and it gives hope to people that comprehensive immigration reform might actually happen.
And he plans to keep fighting for it by sharing his story.
Keep on fighting and opening up the doors to many other students like myself and informing the people about what's going on, what truly is happening with us, and why we deserve this, because that's the main question that's been popping up.
Covering your news, Jessica De Nova, News 10.
The tuition equity bill now waits for Governor Kitzhaber's signature to become law. In tonight's special report at 11, we'll examine our current immigration laws, find out what national changes are being proposed, and why some say comprehensive immigration reform is necessary, even here in your town.